Welcome, Kirsten van Driel, Policy Advisor at the Dutch Central Bank, and Leonard Franken, Supervisor InnovationHub at the Authority for Financial Markets. Welcome.
Thank you.
Innovation and regulation. On first sight, that seems a bit of a paradox.
No.
No,
it's not.
What?
No.
What are you as a regulator doing at the moment to stimulate blockchain innovation?
What we do to stimulate blockchain innovation, I think as a regulator we stimulate all kinds of innovation. DNB and AFM together started the InnovationHub as an entrance for startups, new technology, new firms to meet the regulator in a very early stage. Because innovation is there to make it easier for the customer, to make it better for the society. Regulation is helping that, driving that as well, the same purpose. So if it's possible that the startup meets the regulator in a very early stage, the better it is. And blockchain, yes, that's
Very interesting innovation that could potentially be very beneficial for the financial sector. So that's why we are looking into that.
Yeah, because in a nutshell, what are you doing with the InnovationHub?
With the InnovationHub, we go out. Normally the regulator sits inside. We go out, we visit these kind of events like the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon. We visit events where the fintech companies gather together, and we have a very low entrance level for startups, and so we go towards them and we inform them, or we help them, or we try to discover where they run into regulation that doesn't help them.
So you go outside. That's a new thing, maybe.
Yeah, we come towards them, and that's scary for them, for us as well in the beginning. Also, like here with ING, these kind of institutes or the small fintechs, they really appreciate it if they can have a chat with you about their thoughts, about their innovation in a very early stage.
Yeah.
So they can touch base with you.
But we want to do more than just talking about it. Sometimes, I want to know, is it the InnovationHub, how is it more than just a political statement? Because everyone is doing something with blockchain and meetups, and what are you going to do to take action?
What are we going to do to take action?
Yeah.
I think what we are doing to take action is that's difficult, because we are a regulator, we're not a business development department. But what we do to take action is to participate in these kind of events, in this kind of hackathon, to be present and be part of that ecosystem that's developing, to make sure that that ecosystem develops in the right direction. And of course, every now and then, like DNB is asked to participate in the experiment. That's the thin line of the regulator.
So you're in a phase of experimenting, also on blockchain technology. Inside of the hub, right?
Well, we are at the payments department are experimenting with blockchain itself.
Yeah.
We called it DNB Coin to get a clear picture of what the technology entails. But it's different from the InnovationHub. At the InnovationHub we get other companies and we try to communicate with them to be clear on our views and our policy stand with the market parties, and they really very much like that.
So the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon is coming just at the right time for you then, I can imagine.
Well, for us it's always very good to know about more innovative ideas and more about the blockchain use cases that are out there, because they could potentially also be for us interesting for the financial sector. So the hackathon for us is just a way of meeting new people and meeting all the market parties that are involved in the blockchain and innovative area.
Only meeting new people, or also working together with new startups
Well, we try to be open and out there so they can ask questions to us, and we try and learn from them, and that's why we also like to have mutual knowledge, exchange knowledge, to learn from that about the blockchains that are out there.
But we think that it's possible that the Dutch Central Bank will really work together with new startups if they have a good idea. for example, after the hackathon? Is that possible?
Well, work together is we're the supervisors, so that's a different position that we have.
Yeah, but you're also at the Dutch Central Bank, right? Not only as a supervisor, but
Well, we're both supervisors.
No, but I mean the participation in an experiment, that is it's not that we start coding with them. No, but if you develop an ecosystem with the blockchain, in that ecosystem the regulator, the consumer, the institute, all parties have a role in that. And that's when the companies start asking, can you participate in the experiment by playing your role? Can you see if this role fits you?
Yeah, exactly. But
and there we can give feedback on them.
Yeah, because you're not only working as a watchdog anymore, but you're also it's also possible as a regulator to take the first steps to improve the Dutch blockchain ecosystem.
Yes, it's possible to improve the Dutch ecosystem by means, and then we come back to what's the purpose of life, I would almost say. What's the business case of the AFM? The business case of the AFM is the regulation, and I think we can improve the Dutch ecosystem, the Dutch blockchain ecosystem, by getting feedback from the ecosystem itself, and also looking at ourselves. Where is regulation not helping that ecosystem? Where can we change interpretations? Where we can give feedback to the government, these rules are not helping the Dutch blockchain ecosystem, and I think that's our role in that whole ecosystem, to make sure that regulation is not inhibiting any innovation, but accommodating and facilitating innovation.
And can you give an example of something that's going to change in the near future regarding to the regulation because of the feedback you've got?
At the moment, as you have also heard, there are not that many blockchain products already on the market.
No.
So, but if you look at the stock trade, then we can expect that if blockchain is entering the stock market, that there will changes be needed to facilitate blockchain in the stock market, because roles will change. Like people say, in the discussion before this interview, is some roles are put outside of the company. If regulation requires you to have that role, and that role is now put outside of the company by means of the blockchain, then well, what can we do? We can say, well, it's not a wise idea to put the role outside of the company, or we can change the rule. And I think that's the discussion we should have with each other. If blockchain is changing the current way of working, and the rules are not fitting towards that, then we should change the rules.
And what is the biggest barrier for startups according to the regulation at the moment? What do you hear from them?
That they think things are not allowed, and every now and then they are allowed. That they are. I myself, I'm a technologist. I'm a PhD student, electrical engineering. So I got a very strong technology background. And law is not the first thing I think about when we start experimenting. And what their biggest problem is, that they are not familiar with financial law, with civil law, or whatever kind of law. And they start building their business case, they start building their company, they start building their experiment.
So how do you solve that mindset? How do you change it? I mean,
no, you can help them. You can. Their mindset is by making them aware that there are rules. Like if you go into traffic from the right has
It takes precedence,
It takes precedence, and you have to explain to them that also in the financial world there are rules by which the game is being played.
Right. So that's also your role in the hackathon,
that's the role.
Explaining what the rules are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Telling them that there are rules that they should adhere to.
Yeah.
I'm not a law student, I'm an engineer, so I'm not the best to explain all the rules to them, but I can help them. I can guide them through our AFM and DNB institutes, because I can understand them.
Okay.
And then there are use cases that have to do with the financial sector, so if they have any questions, they can just come up to us during the hackathon, and we can try to be supportive and tell them about the rules that are out there.
And where can the Dutch regulator make a difference in comparison with New York and Singapore, London?
Well, what I think is that we really work very well together. I think that's pretty unique. We have the InnovationHub with the Financial Market Authority and the Dutch Central Bank, And that works really well. Depending on the use case that comes into the Innovation Hub, you take it upon you to have the communication, or we do, but we are really very close in contact with each other, and I think that's pretty unique.
Yes.
And that works really well. So.
Yeah.
And I think we should not be the same as New York, London or Paris or whatever, or Singapore. We should have our own selling point. And I think that's
So
where
yeah, but
we,
I was looking for your unique selling point
I
here.
think this is the unique selling
Yeah.
point. That is, at the moment it's the Dutch Central Bank and the Authority for Financial Markets, but we are also talking to the Authority of Personal Data, what do you call it, the Privacy Watchdog,
Yeah.
and the Authority of Consumer Markets.
Consumer market.
Yeah.
And they are also, because every now and then innovation is not only a matter of D&B and AFM. Every now and then an innovation or a new business case or a new startup is also having privacy concerns. And then all authorities should work together. I think that's where we can be a very strong, strong brand within the world, that here the authorities will start to work together.
And that's also the reason why you are participating in this hackathon.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Because we want to be at the forefront of innovation. And, I mean, our world is changing as well, so better define your own future.
Yeah.
We think that innovation is crucial in the financial sector. It's for the financial stability. So we support it, and we like to stay on top of the game and see what innovation is out there. Especially blockchain is a very interesting innovation. So we very much welcome these events.
So and if it's necessary to change some things about the regulation, then you're also willing to do that.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's part of our role.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Because the regulation was written and without blockchain in mind, of course, because it wasn't out there then. So if it turns out that that is the case, that should happen, then we'll look into that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Great. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.